All right, alongside Graham Dillette and Bob Weeks, with 28 Canadians in the field and 5 of them being in the top 50 on tour, simple math said that at least one of them was going to make a run towards the top of the leaderboard on Friday. Turns out it was Mackenzie Hughes and that brilliant 64. What was the key for Mac today?
Well, he got right out of the gates, hit a beautiful wedge into the 10th for a tap-in birdie, and then on the 12th hole, holes out from the right rough, really got his round kind of jump-started, actually almost holed another wedge on 14, and I talked to his caddy, Julian Trudeau, after the round, and he was telling me he just kind of made it easy on himself. The hole looked big, he was really rolling it well, made a couple late bogeys that kind of stung a little bit, but a great round of golf all in all.
Yeah, he has a history sort of getting in his own way, and I asked him how tough is that to do when you're on a roll like that, and he said, yeah, today was completely different. I was thinking free, I was thinking easy. He said I'd go up, the first line I saw on the putting green was the one I was going to choose to go with, and he wants to keep that going into the weekend. He just wants to play free and easy and not think too much.
Opposite story for the defending champion, Nick Taylor. It was the putter on Thursday that let him down. Today, he just felt like he was out of position off the tee all day and scrambling.
Yeah, he really just didn't drive it well. Actually, was just in the rough pretty much all day long and in bad places as well. Like sometimes can't even advance the ball to the green. And it's tough to play from behind on a golf course like this. You have to be in position off the tee. And that really is what ended up getting Nick today.
He said also that this week has been just a flurry of things to do. He actually was going to try and practice putting after his round last night, but he went over to the green and he started to go over there, and we got about half an hour of blockade of people wanting autographs, people wanting to talk to him. So he said this week has just been unlike anything else he's had, and he came in here really not playing all that well. He's besides the team event in Zurich, he's had the best finish has been a tie for 43 since the Players' Championship. So he needs to get some work, and I think this was not the week he was going to do it.
There was more misery in that group because Rory was playing with Nick and Taylor Pendrith, and pretty perfect conditions out here today. You figured Rory would go low and just could never get it on track. What happened?
I think if you look at Rory, he drove it well, but his iron play into the greens, he was basically dead last in strokes gained approach the green today. That's almost unheard of for Rory McIlroy of late. And you could see there was a frustration on his face, especially, I guess, when you're hitting from the middle of the fairway every time.
Yeah, no question. The way that he drove it, he could have shot six or seven under today, but just totally off with his timing. We saw on the 10th hole, he landed that ball short, spun it all the way off the front of the green, which it ended up being a much worse spot than the shot.
But it must be painful when you hit it to 10 feet and it ends up 60 yards away.
Yeah, no question. But just all day, timing off, just hitting just loose iron shots, not able to take advantage of those good tee shots he was hitting.
It's not star-studded at the top of the leaderboard, but there are some really interesting stories up there.
Robert McIntyre from Scotland, who's now playing the PGA Tour full-time for the first time, he has his father caddying for him. This is the first time his father, who's a greenskeeper back in Scotland, has been caddying for him. He says he doesn't give him any advice. He just kind of kicks the bag up, and he said he was very nice. He said he took the tour bag out and he has a little carry bag for his dad.
Yeah, and a Ryder Cupper, so I mean he's got the experience, much like Ryan Fox. I mean, coming in, he hasn't won on the PGA Tour, but he's won the BMW, which is kind of the marquee event there on the European Tour, the DP World Tour. So even though that there's not a bunch of big winners, but I look back and you look at Mackenzie Hughes, only 3 back right now, and it's almost better to be in that chasing group, a little bit less pressure, especially for him as a Canadian. And if he plays a good round tomorrow, then Sunday he'll have to deal with that crazy pressure.
And Joel Damon in the hunt as well in his bucket hat, who's become one of the more lovable players because of his 2 appearances on Full Swing and the issues that he had well documented, and suddenly he's right there. Doesn't have a top 10 all season long, but in the hunt heading to the weekend here in Hamilton.